What does the Colorado River mean to me? I will say it is life. El Rojo, as we call it, the red, basically brings all the life to hundreds of thousands of people.
I want to make sure that the land and rivers in the Mississippi River Basin stay healthy for future generations.
I like to say that the Gulf of Mexico is America's coast. It's critically important in terms of what it produces for the United States in terms of energy, in terms of shipping, in terms of fisheries. It's also just a beautiful place to live and be.
The oceans are the largest natural resource we have on the planet. I think it's vitally important for us to look at protecting them. The entire planet is basically run by the rhythms of the ocean. Protecting them and making sure that they stay in balance is vitally important.
I think a lot of people are coming to the conclusion that there is a high level of environmental impact.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake. And, there are really difficult conversations occurring, and there are a lot of creative ideas, potential solutions, and those conversations weren't happening 15, 20 years ago.
The problem with the Colorado River Basin is the same as the problem for Arizona, and that is there's more demand for water than there is supply.
Across much of the Corn Belt, we grow two plants, corn and soybeans, that only grow for 6 months out of the year. Because we don't grow winter plants anymore, our soils are unprotected and vulnerable. We have massive opportunity for loss. We lose nitrogen, we lose phosphorus, and we lose soil through soil erosion.
In 1927, we set the Mississippi River in its channel, and that was good for us to build communities, but in the long term, it was very bad because it kept that freshwater and sediment in one place when it really wanted to be all across Louisiana's coast.
Fisheries, and especially small-scale fisheries, are really important, but there's not a lot of information about how much people are working, how much are they fishing, what times of year they're fishing, what gears they're using, and so there's not a lot of control as to how it happens.
We often get asked if these issues are fixable or solvable, and wholeheartedly, the answer is yes.
As farmers, we believe in growing crops and feeding people. If we can conserve the water in this river, then we can continue to grow food and keep our farming operation going for generations to come.
There's been a lot of progress in terms of collaboration. I'm very optimistic for the future of the Colorado River.
We're producing here at the University of Minnesota a set of cover crops that have economic value, as well as environmental protection. These crops develop very well in the fall. They are the first things to green up in the spring, reducing the amount of nitrogen by about 95%.
When we think about coastal erosion, when we think about land loss, the country itself risks a lot. It's not just Louisiana that has something to lose. We see making investments in our environment as a way of protecting our economic assets.
So we developed an internal electronic traceability system to trace the fish from the fishing vessel through the supply chain to the processor. Having that information in real time allows you to make smart decisions, so the same amount of fish goes further. As we look to ask fishermen to fish more responsibly, that's going to impact their ability to make a living. We need to look at how are we going to drive more value to that seafood.
I don't think that there's any one path forward, but rather building consensus, creating partnerships. And the more you speak to people, I think the more you realize there's a lot of common ground.
Our potential is limitless.